We are ready for another adventure filled with stunning archaeological discoveries, and we hope you are too. We have a myriad of important findings to share, ranging from the tiniest to the most massive, from the most primitive of ancient times to the most recent. Let's dive in without further delay. In January 2023, the mortal remains of a 16th century Countess from Laval, France, were examined using innovative technology. These remains had been discovered in 1987 during excavations in the chapel of the former Château de Laval. However, a crucial detail had been overlooked at the time. The Countess's teeth were held in place with gold wires. This is another intriguing aspect of the Countess's burial, already well known to historians and archaeologists for having been interred in a lead coffin inside a wooden sarcophagus, with a human heart in a tiny lead reliquary placed on the outer sarcophagus. No one knows to whom the heart belonged. There are no inscriptions or other identifiable materials. This reliquary is believed to have been embalmed by someone with particular expertise. Although it is possible that the gold wire was used to keep her teeth in place after death, experts consider this hypothesis unlikely. She suffered from periodontal disease, and her teeth were loose, so the wire would have been a practical, albeit undoubtedly painful, solution to hold them in place. Before continuing, we invite you to subscribe if you are fascinated by archaeological discoveries and incredible findings. You are in the right place. Together we will grow our community, and for that, all you need to do is subscribe. We count on your participation. Let's move on to another discovery made at the spectacular site of Dunvegan Castle on the Isle of Skye in Scotland. It is the seal of Sir John Campbell of Cawdor, who became a prominent figure in the castle's history after taking control of it in 1615. We are unsure why he lost his seal, but it was found under a pile of debris from a collapsed wall in August 2018. Sir John would have used this seal to sign legal documents, letters, and prove his identity. Made of lead, it bears his full name along with 16 coats of arms and is marked with the year 1593, indicating that he began using it long before arriving on the island. The Campbell and MacDonald clans fought over the castle several times in the early 17th century, but it was the Campbells who eventually emerged victorious, with Sir John leading the family at that time. The MacDonalds attacked again 30 years later and finally reclaimed the castle in 1646. It is possible that the seal was lost during this time when the wall collapsed.
There is currently no archaeological site in India more thrilling than Kejadi in Tamil Nadu, and this has been the case for several years now. Excavations are ongoing at this vast and complex site. In October 2019, experts working on the fifth phase of excavations uncovered an intriguing arrangement of horizontally aligned terracotta pipes. It is hypothesized that the two sets of pipes may have served different purposes, but this has yet to be proven. In total, there are 10 terracotta pipes, with the lower set forming a poetic pipeline that might have been used to transport water. In other words, we could be looking at a pipeline specifically designed for sacred water. The pipes terminate in lid-shaped perforated plates, which may have been intended to prevent reptiles or other creatures from entering the buildings through the pipes. Kejadi continues to yield fascinating artifacts. This 2019 discovery includes a collection of ancient daggers. The site is believed to date back around 2,600 years, and is expected to continue being excavated for at least another decade.
Here is another discovery from January 2023. During this month, archaeologists in Israel uncovered the remains of a dried-up moat that is 1,000 years old. In this arid moat, they found a human handprint. The discovery was made during the excavation of Sultan Suleiman Street in Jerusalem. It is a defensive moat that would have been deep and vast in its time. It measures approximately 9 meters wide and was cut directly into the rock. The purpose of the moat was to surround the ancient city walls, providing Old Jerusalem with an additional layer of protection against potential invading armies. These defenses were at least partially successful. Records indicate that it took the Crusaders 5 whole weeks to cross the moat when they attacked Jerusalem during the First Crusade in 1099. The handprint is strange because it is very deliberate. As mentioned earlier, the moat was carved into solid rock. Thus, it is an engraving of a handprint rather than an imprint made by pressing a hand into soft mud or stone. Does it have symbolic meaning? If so, what could it be? In Morocco, the fortified city of Ben Hada resembles a massive agglomeration and should be bustling with life. In reality, only 5 families live there. This fortified city is dominated by enormous kasbahs, but its walls are crumbling. Most of its former inhabitants have long since moved to modern towns and villages across the river. However, a handful of resilient residents still live there, leading a rustic lifestyle. The settlement has been in decline for a long time. Even in the 1940s, only 90 families lived there. No one is entirely sure when Ben Hada was established, but based on the architectural style used in its construction, it is likely a product of the 17th century. Inside its walls, there are separate cemeteries for Muslims and Jews, as well as a mosque, a public square, and numerous dwellings. At its peak, it was an important stop on the caravan route between Marrakesh and the Sahara. Ben Hada, which will likely be completely abandoned by the 2050s, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1987. If you were in Iraq 5,000 years ago and wanted an alcoholic beverage, there was only one place to go: the Tavern at Gerso. Today, Gerso corresponds to the modern city of Al-Shatra. Archaeologists discovered the tavern in January 2023 and were astonished to find it still stocked with food. The tavern would have been ideal for social gatherings, featuring numerous benches, storage containers, a type of clay refrigerator known as a zur, and an oven. In sum, it had everything needed to prepare and store food and drinks of the time. However, you wouldn't have wanted to visit it in bad weather, as it was an open-air venue. At the time the tavern was active, Gerso was part of an ancient kingdom called Lagash, which included Gerso and Lagash itself. Sites like this help expand our understanding of the peoples who lived in Mesopotamia all those years ago, some of the first in the world to build permanent settlements and develop language and culture.